I know what you're thinking when you hear Oklahoma. Tornadoes, cowboys, cows roaming the street, and well, grass. But I'm here to show you there is so much more to Oklahoma. We have a bustling nightlife scene, thriving businesses, and much, much more. This is Everything Oklahoma. Top 10 foods the Oklahoma Plains invented. Now, quick question for you. When you think about the foods that built America, the foods on every road trip, every county fair, every backyard cookout in this country, where do you picture them coming from? Texas? Probably. Maybe the South. Maybe somewhere with a bigger reputation than us. But here's the thing that nobody tells you. The Oklahoma Plains, this stretch of land right here, has quietly shaped American food more than any other region in the entire country. And most of the country has no idea. And maybe you didn't either. But that's why I'm here, because I'm going to tell you. Today we're counting down the 10 foods that trace their roots straight back to Oklahoma. Now, some of these will surprise you. Some of these you've eaten this month without knowing the story behind them. And number one might be one of the most important food inventions in American history, and it happened right here. So let's get into it. Okay, so we are kicking off with number 10, Pronto Pups, the corn dog on a stick. That's right, we are starting with a classic, the corn dog, a hot dog on a stick, dipped in a cornmeal batter and fried golden. Now, it has a few competing origin stories around the country, but one of the strongest claims belonged to Oklahoma. In the early 1940s, a concession operator at the Oklahoma State Fair began selling a battered fried hot dog on a stick under the name Pronto Pup, and it became an instant sensation. The name itself, pronto meaning fast, was practically a promise, fast food on a stick at the fair. Today you cannot walk the Oklahoma State Fair without seeing a Pronto Pup stand. And the line is still always long. It's one of those foods that feels like it's always existed, but it had to start somewhere, and that somewhere was right here. Number 9, Frito Pie, the walking lunch. Now, Frito Pie, corn chips topped with chili and cheese and onions, often served right in the bag, is one of those dishes everyone has an opinion about. Texas claims it, New Mexico claims it, but there is strong and often overlooked Oklahoma connection in this story too. Frito-Lay had deep roots and major distribution across Oklahoma and the broader Southwest from very early on, and regional cookbooks and concession stands across the Oklahoma Plains were serving versions of this dish. Chili poured directly over corn chips as a practical, portable, inexpensive meal for working families and students for decades. Now, whoever served the very first bag, one thing is for certain. This dish belongs to the Plains. It's cheap, it's filling, it travels in your hand, and it tastes just like a Friday night football game. That's about as Oklahoma as it gets. Number 8, the hamburger. Yes. Really? Okay, deep breath, because this one is going to start an argument in the comments, and I am completely okay with that. One of the earliest documented claims of inventing the hamburger, as in ground beef patties served between two pieces of bread, traces back to a cook named Oscar Weber Bilby in Tulsa, Oklahoma, around 1891. Now, the story goes that Bilby ground up beef, formed it into a patty, and grilled it over a hickory fire, served it on his wife's freshly baked yeast buns at a family gathering, and it became a tradition that continued for years afterwards. Now, to be fair, and I'll be very fair here, there are several competing claims to the hamburger's invention, like a lot. From Connecticut to Texas, food history is messy, and there's rarely one clean answer. But Tulsa's claim is one of the earliest documented anywhere in the country, predating most of the others by years. Now, because the definition of a hamburger specifically includes placing a ground meat patty inside a purpose made bun, Oklahoma Governor Frank Keating officially proclaimed Tulsa as the real birthplace of the hamburger on April 13th, 1995. So, the next time someone tells you the hamburger is an East Coast invention or a Texas invention, you can tell them Tulsa might have beaten everyone to the punch by over a decade. Number 7, calf fries, cattle country strangest delicacy. Now, this one is uniquely tied to cattle country, and Oklahoma has more cattle country than almost anywhere. Calf fries are a ranching tradition that goes back generations, a way of making sure that absolutely nothing on the ranch goes to waste. Breaded and fried up the same way that you'd fry anything else in cattle country. Now, small towns across Oklahoma still hold calf fry festivals every year. Now, it's not for everyone, and I'll be honest, it's not for me. But it represents something deeply Oklahoma, resourcefulness and ranch tradition, and a community that turns even the strangest things into a celebration. Now, I purposely didn't mention what calf fries are, even though I think we all know. But if you have an extra 5 minutes and want to find out for yourself, just Google it. Trust me, you won't regret it. Number 6, Cherry Limeade, Sonic's gift to America. Now, Sonic Drive-In was founded in Shawnee, Oklahoma in 1953, and while the chain has grown into a nationwide institution, one of the most iconic creations is the Cherry Limeade. That specific combination, cherry flavoring, fresh lime, and soda water over crushed ice, became so popular it basically defined an entire category of fountain drink that other chains scrambled to copy for decades afterwards. Number 5, Sand Plum Jelly, a taste of the plains. Now here's one that might be completely new to you if you're not from around here. Sand plums grow wild across the Oklahoma plains. They're small, tart, thorny little fruits that ripen along fence lines and creek beds every summer. For generations, Oklahoma families have picked sand plums by hand, usually getting scratched up pretty good in the process, and turned them into a jelly. Now, it's tart, it's deep red, and it tastes like absolutely nowhere else. So you're not going to find sand plum jelly at regular grocery stores outside of this region. Now, you'll find it at farmers markets, roadside stands, and even church bake sales across Oklahoma. It's one of the most genuinely local foods on this entire list, and one of the best. Number 4, chicken fried steak. Yes, we are bringing that back up. Now, if you've watched our channel before, you know that we have covered this one in depth, and we are not skimping it on this list because honestly, it might be the single best example of everything this video is about. Chicken fried steak, a tenderized beef steak, breaded and fried like a schnitzel, topped with a creamy gravy, has documented roots in Oklahoma that predate Texas's well-known claim by decades. German and Austrian immigrants who settled in central Oklahoma after the land runs brought the schnitzel technique with them, adapted it to tough cattle country beef, and finished it with a cream gravy, a purely American addition. Alright, before we get to number 1, I've got to ask if you're enjoying this list and if you're the kind of person who really didn't know any of this information about Oklahoma until right now, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Number 3, the El Reno Onion Burger, the Depression-era hack that changed burgers forever. Now, during the Great Depression, beef was expensive, but onions were cheap. So cooks in El Reno, Oklahoma started doing something simple but genius. They'd smash a small portion of ground beef into a hot griddle, pile a huge mound of thinly shaved onions on top, and press it all together until the onions practically melted to the meat itself. Now, it stretched the meat further, it added flavor and moisture, and it created a texture and taste that nobody had quite done before. Number 2, Indian tacos, a native culinary tradition centered here. Now, Oklahoma is home to more federally recognized Native American tribal headquarters than any other state in the country, and that history has shaped American food in ways that don't get enough recognition. The Indian taco, fry bread topped with seasoned meat, beans, cheese, and fresh toppings, emerged from Native communities and became an absolute staple at powwows, tribal gatherings, and community events across Oklahoma. Now, it's a dish layered with complicated history. Fry bread itself emerged from a period of immense hardship for Native peoples, but it has been transformed by Native communities into something today that represents resilience, creativity, and celebration. And for a lot of people, it's their very first introduction to Native American cuisine. That matters, and it's happening right here. And number 1, do me a favor, close your eyes. Do you have a guess what it could be? Because I am willing to bet you didn't guess this. Number 1 is pemmican, the food that powered the plains for 1,000 years. Now, long before Oklahoma was a state, long before the land runs, long before the cattle drives, plains tribes across the regions were making something that might be the most important food invention on this entire list. That something was called pemmican. Now, you may not have heard of it, or maybe you have, but pemmican is a dried meat, often bison, pounded into a powder. They take this powder and they mix it with fat and dried berries, and it's formed into this dense, portable cake. It doesn't spoil for months, sometimes years. It's lightweight, it's calorie dense, and it's sustained plains communities across what's now Oklahoma for thousands of years. Now, here's why this earns the top spot. Pemmican isn't just a historical curiosity. It's the conceptual ancestor of nearly every energy bar, trail mix, jerky pouch, and meal replacement product on the grocery store shelves today. Take a moment and let that sink in. The entire idea of dense, portable, chef-stable nutrition. Every time you grab a protein bar before a road trip, you are holding a distant cousin of something that plains tribes in Oklahoma figured out a very, very, very long time ago. That is huge. And this might be one of the most quietly influential food inventions in human history. And of course, it happened right here on Oklahoma land. 10 foods, thousands of years of history, one stretch of land that most of the country never thought twice about. Now, if this video opened your eyes even a little bit, do 2 things for me, pretty please. First, subscribe. Secondly, drop a comment and tell me which one of these 10 surprised you the most. Was it the hamburger? The pemmican? I read every single comment and I want to know. And if you want me to go deeper on any of these, so check the links, check the playlist, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Everything Oklahoma. Thanks for watching.